Hello everyone, welcome to the 12 days of Christmas. Christmas has always been my absolute favorite time of year. Although it doesn't really get cold here that often, I still enjoy it because it's a time for family to get together. Let's get into what you'll need to follow along. Of course, you're going to need a pencil, eraser, watercolor paper, watercolor paint, a brush. For watercolor paper, I'm using 100% cotton cold pressed paper, and I am cutting them to postcard size. For paints, I'm using Holbein artist grade watercolor paints. Throughout each video, I will be labeling what paint I'm using at that time. For a paintbrush, I'm just using a small round. This is a number 4. Of course, you'll also need 2 cups of water, one for clean and one for dirty. Optional is paper tape and a clipboard. Additionally, I will be putting all the outlines on Patreon for download. So if you want to support me, you can go over to my Patreon and sign up as a member. Then you'll get all the outlines at the same time as the video comes out. All right, thank you so much. Let's get into painting. Welcome back to the 12 days of Christmas. We are on day 4. This time we're also mixing up the color palette. Since the primary color is red, we are going to be using red. Then to make it darker, we're going to mix in a little bit of that blue, dark blue, and making it a tiny bit lighter or a little bit warmer, we're going to be adding yellow, but just a bit because we don't want it to be too orange. So we are painting this beautiful ribbon that would be on top of a gift. What I love about this is it gives us a chance to play around with painting a shiny texture. So as you can see here, I've drawn out these lines. They're the ones telling me that I need to paint a lighter streak or a darker streak. Most of the light streaks are up here, and for that we're going to use the white of the paper. And when we go down here, there are some darker streaks. That just kind of tells us that the light is probably coming from this side. So to start, let's activate our red. We want to go in with a really watery red. And this time I'm not painting water first because I really want to be able to control where the paint is going. So I'm going to start with the top. You see I'm painting a really watery wash, and I'm leaving out those highlights. For all around here, there are no highlights that are like bright white. So I'm not going to worry anymore about leaving the white of the paper, and I'm just going to paint over everything. All right, while it's still wet, I'm going to grab the red and mix it in with a little bit of blue. It's going to make it to this sort of purpley color. If it's too purple, just put more red in. Make it a little bit darker. Then what I'm gonna do is just gonna drop it in some of those dark areas. We are just kind of giving the underpainting a little bit of interest. All right, this is the first layer done. We're gonna let it dry off and go in with a second layer. It's time to move on to the next layer. So as we look at this painting, the red is looking very cool. It's time to warm it up. And we're going to do that by adding yellow into the red. I'm gonna grab the yellow here. Sorry, I'm gonna grab the red from here and just drop it into the yellow. I still want to do quite a watery wash because I want to have the two colors shine through. See that? And this time I'm just kind of dabbing it around because you can see that the ribbon has a bit of a pattern on it. Just make sure that you don't paint those white highlights. All right, so while it is still wet, I'm going to do some lifting on certain parts that are a little bit lighter, such as this part right here. We don't want to lift everything up. Because it's not white. Probably this one right here. Tiny bit. And smooth it out. This one right here. All right, I think that's it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix that red with blue again to darken it. So we want to get it really, really dark. So we want to get that really dark, but then it starts looking more purple than red. So what we're going to do is grab yellow and drop it in. Warms it up a bit. Just a tiny bit, not too much. Just so that it starts looking like a warm purple, not a cool purple. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and start painting out some of those really dark parts. It's still wet, so it might bleed a little bit, and that is okay. All right, this one part right here, I don't want it to bleed that much. Taking a damp brush, just swiping it out. Okay, we're gonna leave that to dry and come in later with another layer. All right, we're going to move on to our next layer, which is once again the warm red. So let's mix it in with our yellow. And this time what we want to do is we want to show that there is a difference between each curl of the ribbon. So let's start from here. And that. All right, so now we're gonna go in with black, and we're going to paint those really dark areas. I know it's still wet and it might bleed, so I want it to bleed, but not too much. I need to be more careful. So we have those really dark values down. Start to see where each ribbon is folded or curved over each other. So I'm gonna wait a little bit, take that dark reddish purple, this one here, streak right here, also a streak here. Here, this one. This one is supposed to be dark, it's not supposed to be lighter. Okay, so now the only thing that's missing is the dark here, but this is pretty wet, so I want to wait for it to dry. I think that will be the last layer, just putting in some of those little details, then erasing the pencil lines and painting a super light wash over some of the shiny bits. Not over the entire thing, but just like right next to it, so it looks like it's smoothing in rather than just one straight line. Some of this up here. All right, with it pretty much dry to the touch, we're going to go in, paint black over here, show the difference between these two layers here. Fold right there. So we're going to take our tiny eraser this time, just because I want to be more careful. And I'm going to erase out those pencil lines. Make sure I'm not touching the black paint. And then I'm going to take a really watery warm red, which is the red with the yellow, just kind of tiny bit, not as big. So, all right, and there we go, the 4th day of Christmas done, a beautiful red ribbon.